Okay, so ready to dive into something pretty dark today.
Yeah, let's do it.
Today, we're heading over to Japan.
Always a good time for a deep dive.
Yeah, but this one, it's heavy. It's called now get this, the Fujisawa mother-daughter murders and 3 other killings.
Catchy title.
Right.
Yeah, makes you want to learn more.
But they also call it, and I think this is how the police refer to it officially, Police Agency Wide Area Important Designation 112 case.
Yeah, they love their designations, don't they?
Oh, they do. So anyway, this isn't just one crime.
Oh, no, not even close.
This is like a whole series of awful stuff. We're talking 3 different murder incidents.
Plus a bunch of thefts sprinkled in there, too.
Yep. And all of this is tied to this one guy. We'll call him F, okay?
Works for me.
And it all happened over like 8 months.
Between 1981 and 1982.
Yeah, so like a while back, but still,
Yeah.
I mean, talk about a crime spree.
Definitely a spree. Across 2 whole prefectures, too. Kanagawa and Hyogo.
Yeah, so like we had to do a lot of digging for this one.
Yeah, but the Japanese Wikipedia page on this case, it's a gold mine.
It is. It's super detailed. It's like they've got the whole timeline laid out.
Oh, yeah, and tons of background on F, like who he was, where he came from.
Plus, they actually talk about the victims, too.
Which is good, right?
Oh, yeah. Super important.
Yeah.
They don't always do that.
No, they don't.
So they go through the investigation, too, all the twists and turns.
And the trials.
Oh, yeah.
The legal battles.
It's a lot.
It is. But that's what we're here for, right?
Exactly. To try and make sense of it all. So today, we're going to, like, try to connect these dots, you know?
See how these separate crimes, they're all linked.
Yeah, and, like, what was going on in this guy's head, you know?
The psychology of it all.
Yeah, and like, how they finally caught him, the whole investigation.
Yeah, and then what happened in court.
It's going to be intense, but we're going to try to find those, like, key moments.
Stuff that really makes you think.
Right. Not just, like, every little detail.
Right.
You know?
Nobody wants to get bogged down in minutia.
No. We want the big picture.
The important takeaways.
Exactly. So before we get too deep, let's, like, give everyone a roadmap.
Yeah, a preview of the horror show.
What kind of, yeah?
A quick overview.
So there are 3 murders, right?
3 main incidents, yeah.
First one, we'll call it the X incident.
Or the Yokohama incident, since that's where it happened.
Yeah, Yokohama. So this guy, X,
Yeah.
knew him from, like, juvie.
Juvenile detention.
And it seems like money was the motive.
Some kind of dispute.
Yeah, very messy.
Very. Then you've got the second incident. This one's probably the one people talk about the most.
Fujisawa incident, right?
Exactly. And this is where things get really, really awful.
Yeah, this is where a high school girl, we'll call her A.
Okay.
Her mom, C, and her little sister, B, they're all murdered.
Brutally murdered.
Yeah, in Fujisawa. And everything points to this being about, like, rejection.
I rejected F's advances, and he just
Snapped. And then there's the third incident, the Y incident.
This one happened in Amagasaki.
So another guy from juvie, right?
Another one of F's former acquaintances, we'll call them.
Right, acquaintances. So this is why, and guess what? He helped F with the Fujisawa murders.
Yeah, accomplice.
And then Y ends up dead, too.
Probably because F didn't want him talking.
Right, like trying to silence him forever.
Cover his tracks.
So let's start with F, all right? Let's, like, try to figure out who this guy was.
Okay, so F was born in 1960, grew up in a place called Haratsuka.
Okay.
Early on, it seems like he was, loved by his family.
Okay.
But then his sister was born.
Ah, so things changed.
Yeah, it seems like he started feeling like, she was the favorite.
Oh, I see.
Which, for a kid, that can be really hard.
Yeah, for sure.
And on top of that, his mom was, the Wikipedia page uses the word abusive.
Oh, wow.
Like locking him in a closet, even burning him with cigarettes, that kind of discipline.
That's horrible.
It is. And they gave him a really mean nickname.
Like making fun of his last name.
Yeah, something like that.
Awful.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's got to mess you up.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of early trauma, it can have a huge impact.
Right.
And then you add in this feeling of being less loved than his sister.
I mean, how do you even, like, develop normally?
Exactly. And the Wikipedia page actually says that he developed this pattern, like strong to the weak, weak to the strong.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so basically picking on those weaker than him, but then backing down when someone was stronger.
Oh, so, like, a classic bully, but also a coward.
Yeah, something like that.
Wow. So I guess it's not surprising that he started getting in trouble early on.
Oh, yeah. The Wikipedia page mentions delinquent behavior starting all the way back in elementary school.
Really? Like what?
Shoplifting, fighting, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
But there's this one incident. In 4th grade, he stabbed a classmate with a pencil.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And, that led to some serious bullying in middle school.
Of course, yeah. Kids are brutal.
They really can be. It actually got so bad that they, had a name for it. The F Killing Club.
No way! That's terrible.
Yeah. But he did try joining a karate dojo for a while.
Really?
Yeah. I wonder if that was, him trying to be tough.
Maybe. Or, gain some respect.
Could be. So at home, things weren't exactly stable either.
That doesn't sound like it.
Early on, there's this story about him being nice to his sister, buying her fruit with his allowance.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. But then, as they got older, he started being violent towards both his mom and his sister.
Okay.
And it seems like the reason was jealousy.
Jealousy of his sister.
Yeah. She got a piano and he didn't.
Wow. So he lashes out.
Yeah. And, he wasn't doing well in school either.
So, failing classes.
Basically.
Oof, not a good combo.
No, not at all. So, after middle school, things didn't exactly improve.
What happened?
He had a bunch of short-term jobs.
Okay.
But then he got into more serious trouble. He stole a motorcycle. Yeah, and that landed him on probation.
Not good.
No. And then he got caught stealing again.
Again?
Yeah. So this time, they put him under this thing called at-home test observation.
What's that?
It's you're technically at home, but they're watching you.
Like house arrest kind of thing.
Kind of, yeah. But unsurprisingly, it didn't work.
He couldn't stay out of trouble.
Nope. He ended up in a juvenile detention center for robbery.
What did he steal this time?
I don't think the Wikipedia page says exactly, but he did it with a guy he knew from middle school. Some older kid.
Ah, so a bad influence.
Probably.
And this is where he meets, the guys who end up being his first and third murder victims, right?
Exactly. X and Y, they all met in juvie.
Wow. So F is in juvie, and it sounds like his family wasn't exactly supportive.
Not really, no. The Wikipedia page says they rarely visited him.
Oh, wow.
And get this, when he was finally released, his parents refused to take him in.
Seriously?
Yeah, so he had nowhere to go.
That's that's got to be devastating.
Yeah, right.
So what happened to him?
Well, he tried to escape at one point.
From juvie?
Yeah, and he was getting bullied by the other inmates.
Oh, no.
It was rough. So he gets out again, and what does he do?
I'm guessing he didn't magically turn his life around.
No, he didn't. He bounced around between a few different facilities, tried to hold down some jobs, and went right back to robbery.
Ugh. The cycle continues.
Exactly. And then he gets arrested again for hitting his sister.
Oh, no.
Yeah, his father had confronted him about his behavior, and, F didn't take it well.
So, back to juvie.
Back to juvie.
This poor guy. I mean, not that he's a saint or anything, but it's sad.
It is. But it's also a reminder that, this isn't just some monster who popped out of nowhere.
Right, he had a really rough life.
Exactly. It doesn't excuse what he did, but it helps us understand it.
For sure. So this last time he gets out of juvie, before all the murders, same story, right?
Same story. Parents wouldn't take him in.
Ah, that's just heartbreaking.
So he went to a rehabilitation facility.
Okay.
Didn't stay long, though. Left pretty quickly.
Of course.
And you know who he ended up working with? X.
X. No.
And here's the really creepy part. According to the Wikipedia page, he was obsessed with the idea of committing a huge, perfect crime.
Oh, God.
Yeah. It wasn't just about getting away with something. It was about doing something so big, so flawlessly, that it would, make him famous.
That's scary.
It is. So the Yokohama District Public Prosecutor's Office, they actually put together a personality profile of F.
Okay, but what'd they say?
They said he had very few friends, was really suspicious of everyone.
Okay.
But if he did trust someone, he'd trust them completely.
Like all or nothing.
Exactly. But that also meant that if they rejected him or betrayed him, he would just
lose it.
Completely.
And that fits with the whole strong to the weak thing.
Right, absolutely. But here's the thing. It's not all black and white.
What do you mean?
There's this one middle school classmate who remembers him being polite to neighbors, even playing with the little kids in the neighborhood.
Really?
Yeah. And he liked motorcycles, but he never joined a biker gang or anything.
Huh. Interesting.
And get this. He didn't drink alcohol, didn't smoke cigarettes, didn't even do solvents.
Seriously?
Yeah, the reason. He was worried about his health.
Wow.
So you have this guy who's capable of horrific violence, but also, has this weird self-control thing going on.
Like he's a walking contradiction.
Exactly. And his mother, well, she's a whole other piece of this puzzle.
What about her?
She's described as being really vain, never admitting when she was wrong, always blaming others.
Oh, so like passing that on to her son.
Potentially, yeah. And when X was murdered, she actually gave F a false alibi.
Seriously?
Yeah. The police think she did it to, like, keep the family together.
Oh, wow. So not necessarily because she believed he was innocent?
Right. More like she couldn't accept that her son could do something like that.
That's messed up.
Yeah. And it probably contributed to F thinking he could get away with anything.
So let's talk about the victims, starting with X, the guy from Yokohama.
All right. So X was born in 1960, same as F. And as we know, they met in juvie. She lived with his parents, a brother, and a sister.
Okay.
His dad was apparently under a lot of financial stress, and he was abusive towards his family.
Oh, no. Another tough childhood.
Yeah. And X, he started stealing when he was really young, like from a shrine, because he didn't have any allowance.
Oh, wow.
Later on, he got into shoplifting.
So like petty theft.
Yeah. But it landed him in a reformatory school.
That's like more intense than juvie, right?
Yeah. In Japan, reformatory schools are for longer terms, and they focus more on rehabilitation.
Okay.
So after he got out, he actually tried to go straight, got a job, even gave money to his mom.
That's good.
It is. But then he reconnected with F.
And that's when things went downhill.
Yeah. They went back to their old ways, doing robberies together, and that's what ultimately led to the whole money dispute and X's death.
So the Fujisawa victims, A, B, and C, they seem like they had totally different lives.
Very different. A, the high school girl, she was 16, very outgoing, had to switch schools a lot because of her dad's job.
Oh, wow.
But she seemed to adjust well. She even had a part-time job at a burger place.
So like a pretty normal teenager?
Seems like it.
And B, her little sister, was she in middle school?
Yeah, she was 13. And their mom, she was 45, worked at a supermarket.
Okay.
She met her husband, D, that's A and B's father, at work. They'd only lived in that house in Fujisawa a couple of years.
So like just starting to settle in.
Yeah. And then it all ended so suddenly.
It's just awful.
It is. And then there's Y, the guy who was murdered in Amagasaki.
Right.
He was 19, and he was described as being really lonely.
Oh, no.
Yeah. He had a rough life, too. Ran away from home a lot, started doing extortion when he was really young.
Extortion.
Yeah, like blackmailing people for money. So he ended up in a reformatory school because of that. His parents got divorced, and then his dad committed suicide.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's tragic.
So he goes to juvie, meets F, and then they reconnect before the Fujisawa murders.
Yeah. And it seems like he was just looking for some kind of connection, you know?
Right. Like looking for someone to belong with.
Exactly. And unfortunately, he found that with the wrong person.
So let's go through the crimes now, starting with the X incident back in October 1981.
All right. So remember, F and X, they were doing robberies together.
Right.
And they stole a decent chunk of money, over 1.45 million yen.
Wow.
But F was hiding some of the money from X.
So, like, not being a very good partner in crime.
Nope. And then X decides to steal from F.
How much did he take?
200,000 yen.
And he ran away.
Yeah, he took off. And F, he was furious.
I bet.
He saw it as the ultimate betrayal.
What'd he do?
He tracked X down, threatened him, threatened his mother, made them promise to pay him back.
Wow, so he's not letting this go.
Not at all. But then X did something really stupid.
Yeah.
He mentioned going to the police, reporting everything they'd done.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that was a bad move.
I bet F freaked out.
Oh, he did. He went and bought some knives, even rented an apartment near Ikebukuro.
Like a hideout.
Basically. So on the night of the murder, X was out, got into some fight over drugs.
Oh, wow. So he was still involved in that world.
Yeah, it seems like it. And F, he confronts him, knives and all.
Oh, God.
And X, he refuses to pay F back, and he threatens to go to the police again.
So X snapped.
Yeah. He lured X out to this cabbage field, told him they were going for one last drive.
It's creepy.
It is. And then he tried to set X on fire.
With gasoline.
Yeah, but it was raining, so it didn't work.
Oh, my God.
But he didn't stop there.
He stabbed him.
Yeah, multiple times. With a sashimi knife and a smaller knife.
Brutal.
Yeah. And then he took the money from X's jacket before throwing it away.
So, like adding insult to injury? Basically. He washed his own clothes, threw the knives in the Tama River, even got rid of the knife box separately.
Wow, so he's trying to cover his tracks.
Yeah, but guess how he gets caught?
For the murder.
Nope. Yeah. He gets pulled over for a traffic violation.
Seriously.
Yeah, driving without a license. And the cops, they think he might be involved in the murder.
Because of the traffic stop.
Well, probably because he was acting suspicious
Mm-hmm.
and, there was a murder investigation going on.
Okay.
But they let him go.
Why?
And not enough evidence. Plus, his mom gave him a false alibi.
Oh, right.
So he gets away with it. But here's the thing. He doesn't stop there.
What do you mean?
He starts threatening another guy he knew from juvie.
Z.
Z.
Yeah. This guy had gotten into a fight with X before he was killed.
Oh, okay.
So F's threatening Z, telling him not to talk to the cops about X's murder.
So, he's trying to control the whole situation.
Yeah.
So the Fujisawa incident, this one's rough.
It is. So it all starts with F developing this huge crush on A, the high school girl.
Right.
He sees her near her school and decides to approach her. But he doesn't use his real name.
What does he call himself?
Yamada Toru. And he makes up this story about his dad being rich.
Oh, wow. So, trying to impress her.
Yeah, totally. They even go on a date to Atami.
Thanksy.
But A, she's not really interested.
She had a crush on someone else, right?
Yeah, a classmate. So she tries to distance herself from F, but he doesn't get the hint.
Oh, no.
He keeps showing up, even goes to her house to give her a cassette tape.
A cassette tape?
Yeah, it was the 80s.
Oh, right.
And then on New Year's Eve, he confesses his feelings to her.
And she rejects him.
Yeah, and not very nicely. She basically calls him immature, uncool, and dirty.
Ouch.
Yeah. And you got to remember, this guy already has major issues with rejection.
Right, going all the way back to his childhood.
Yeah, exactly. So this rejection, it just reinforces all his negative feelings about himself.
And probably triggers that strong to the weak response.
Absolutely.
So what does he do?
Well, you'd think he'd back off, right?
Yeah.
Nope. He keeps calling her, even mentions her crush's middle school like he's been stalking them.
That's creepy.
It is. He even calls the school, pretends to be A's cousin.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's getting really obsessive. And A, she keeps telling him to leave her alone.
But he doesn't listen.
No, he actually demands that she pay him back for their date.
Seriously.
Yeah.
That's so petty.
I know, right?
So he tries to see her at school.
Yeah, but can't find her. So then he calls her dad, D,
What?
to demand that he repay the loan.
Oh, wow. So he's harassing the whole family now?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
D, of course, tells him to get lost. So F goes to their house and starts arguing with A.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it gets heated. D steps in and basically pays F 3,000 yen just to get him to leave N alone.
So, a bribe?
Basically.
Did it work?
Not really. F agrees to leave her alone, but he keeps calling.
Ugh, this guy.
I know, right? So then F meets A at the train station, gives her back the 3,000 yen, and confesses his feelings again.
And she rejects him again.
Again, and insults him. This time, he slaps her.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
But then they kind of make up, at least for a little while.
Okay.
Next time they meet, A locks him out of her house. Her mom, C, also tells him to stay away.
So, the whole family's united against him.
Yeah. But F, he doesn't take it well.
Of course not.
And this is where it gets even creepier. He starts going to their house when only A's little sister, B, is home.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And B, she actually invites him inside. They even kiss.
That's so disturbing.
It is. And F, he keeps calling, but A and B are both getting more and more hostile towards him.
Understandably.
D, the dad, tells F to stop contacting them, threatens to call the police.
I mean, what else can he do?
Right. And this is the final straw for F.
He just snaps.
Completely. He feels like A's insulted him over and over again.
So he decides to kill them all.
Yeah. And he starts planning everything very carefully.
Oh.
He buys knives, wipes off the fingerprints, even practices killing multiple people quickly.
That's terrifying.
And he's still harassing A, making silent calls, prank calls.
Oh, no.
He goes to their house again, demands money. C and D both threaten to call the cops.
So he decides he has to act.
Yeah. And to make things worse, he commits 2 robberies around this time.
To get money.
For his escape.
Wow, he's really thought this through.
It's scary how organized he is.
He brings Y into it, right?
Yeah, 3 days before the Fujisawa murders, he meets up with Y in Kabukicho.
Where's that?
It's this big entertainment district, lots of bars, clubs, that kind of thing.
Okay.
F buys Y a meal, and Y asks if they can team up to do some crimes.
Oh, no.
Yeah. They talk about robbing a bank, but they don't go through with it.
But then F tells Y about his plan to kill A's family.
Yeah. At first, Y doesn't believe him.
But then he agrees to help.
He does. The Wikipedia page says he wanted to be with F.
Oh, wow. So like a twisted kind of loyalty?
Maybe. Or maybe he was just scared of F.
Yeah, probably a bit of both.
So they plan the attack. F will use the knives, and Y will cut the phone line and make sure the doors are locked.
Oh, God.
They even stay at a hotel near F's old elementary school the night before.
So creepy.
I know. And on the day of the murders, the police actually go to F's house.
What for?
That traffic violation he got earlier.
Oh, right.
But he's not there.
Of course not.
So F and Y, they search each other to make sure they're not carrying any IDs or anything that could link them to the crime.
Wow. They're really being careful.
Yeah, they pack the knives and gloves, then take a bus to near A's house. F gives Y a small knife.
Oh, no.
They get to the house around 8 p.m., pretend to be newspaper collectors.
Oh, God.
C opens the door, and F forces his way in. Y locks the door and cuts the phone line.
So they're trapped.
Completely.
Oh.
F attacks B in the living room, then C in the kitchen. A comes downstairs, and F attacks her too.
Oh, my God.
He stabs all three of them multiple times. They're all dead.
This is so awful.
It is. F and Y wait for D to come home, but they get spooked and run away.
They thought someone might have heard them.
Yeah, maybe neighbors. Y was apparently completely freaked out.
I can't even imagine.
So after Fujisawa, they go on the run, right?
Yeah, but what about why?
We're getting there.
Yeah.
So they take a taxi, then switch to another one to try and throw off anyone who might be following them.
Smart?
Yeah. F goes to a public restroom at Wiso Station, flushes a bunch of gloves down the toilet.
Some with blood on them, I bet.
Yeah, probably. They go back to F's house for a bit.
He tells his parents what he did.
He does. They actually consider committing suicide, but his sister talks them out of it.
Oh, wow.
Then F and Y take another taxi to Odawara Station, then trains to Osaka.
So they're heading west.
Yeah, trying to get as far away from the crime scene as possible.
Makes sense.
They get to Osaka the next morning, wash their clothes, throw away their shoes, buy new ones. And get this, Y buys a small knife.
He's going to use it for extortion.
That's what he says. F calls his mom, finds out the cops are looking for Yamada Toru. He tells his mom he's in Hokkaido, which is a total lie.
Of course.
Then they take a Shinkansen to Hakata, stay in a hotel there.
So they're still on the move.
Yeah, bouncing from place to place, Fukuoka, Kumamoto, all over the place.
But F doesn't trust Y
Not at all. He's convinced Y is going to crack and go to the cops.
because he was so scared during the murders.
Yeah. So F does this thing. He pretends to be asleep.
To see what Y will do.
Exactly. And what does Y do? He tries to steal F's wallet.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that seals it for F. He decides he has to kill Y.
To keep him quiet.
Exactly. So he buys